Hey guys, and welcome to That Florida Feeling. How is everybody? Hope you're doing good. I'm doing better. I guess something's going around or has been going around. I don't know. I feel much better than I did last week. Thank you to everybody who checked on me. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate it. But I'm back. Glad to be back. Have a new episode for us. Hope you guys did enjoy the last few episodes, though. Green Coast Springs got a lot of good feedback. Appreciate that. It is a great little community outside of Jacksonville. One of my favorite to visit. Seems like a lot of you guys like to visit as well. Um, Also, if you haven't checked out Unfiltered Studios, do check that out as well. I know a couple of you have done that, and you found some really cool podcasts, so I'm glad to hear that as well. Thanks to everybody who has checked out the many social media pages. We have different ones, and I love it. I love that we share the memes and we laugh about it, or the friends I've made over on TikTok or Instagram. You guys are amazing. I love connecting with you guys. So, as always, thank you. Also, if you have any suggestions, I'm always happy to hear them. New topics are always fun. It's things that I would never have thought of or something that you guys want to hear. Please reach out. Email is thatfloridafeel@gmail.com or find me on one of the social media sites. It's always fun to hear what you guys want to listen to as well. So today we're going to talk about a place that you've heard of or probably have been to if you've ever been in Orlando. No, I'm not talking about a theme park. Orlando is way more than theme parks, although it is slightly magical. I am talking about Lake Eola. Lake Eola is actually a very large public park in downtown Orlando. It is literally in the middle of downtown Orlando. And it is literally a lake. Um, the lake is the main feature of the park. It has a couple different features in the park, but the main thing is the lake. There's also the Walt Disney Amphitheater, which actually has some really cool community events from time to time and various performances. There's also a Chinese pagoda and a playground. It is cordoned off by like 4 different streets. There's East Robinson Street, Rosalind Street, East Central Boulevard, and North Eola Drive. It is surrounded by pretty tall buildings, and it is in a little older part of the downtown area, but it is really cool. It is a beautiful park. It's one of my favorite parks to go and walk around at. Lots of birds, some mean birds. Nonetheless, it is a very beautiful park I wanted to tell you guys about today. So Lake Eola is a small lake, comparative, in Florida, and it's within the South Eola neighborhood of downtown Orlando. The lake is actually a sinkhole. Yeah, it's actually a sinkhole. And Lake Eola is really known for that famous fountain, that really pretty fountain. And the fountain's actually kind of become one of the symbols for Orlando. The sinkhole is approximately 23 feet and 8 inches deep. And it's located about 100 feet just east of that, where that fountain sits in the actual lake. And what's really cool is the fountain's really pretty. They've done some really great things to it. It actually changes color at night. They kind of do like a little light show with it. The lake is 4,493 feet in circumference. So it's about 23 acres large for the whole park. And it's just at 0.9 of a mile of sidewalks surrounding the actual lake. So just short of 1 actual mile. So if you're looking for a place to walk, it is a really good place to go and walk. So how did this come about? Well, in 1883, a really, really wealthy Orlando resident, Jacob Summerlin, which does have a road and a couple other things named for him, he was actually the owner of the Summerlin Hotel. He was also the first city council president. He was also a financial leader for construction in Orlando's courthouse in the 1970s. He did a lot for the city of Orlando, just a lot. And he also owned a lot of property in Orlando. He actually donated a large tract of land to establish a park in Orlando. He wanted some green space. He wanted there to be a place where people could gather. He wanted there to be community. So he donated this land and he wanted there to be a park. And in 1883, Summerlin came to city council and they were having a meeting, and he offered the land around the lake, but it had to be on one condition. It had to be beautified, and it had to be turned into a park. He required that the city plant trees and put a driveway, I'm using that loosely, driveway around the lake. And the way that he ensured that the city followed through was that he put in a reverter clause. And what that means is that any time any of his heirs could reclaim the property if they felt that the city failed in its obligations. So at any point, if they let that park go to crap, if they didn't take care of it, if they started to build on it, any of that, they could just say, nope, that property's ours now, and you can no longer use it. Fun fact, though, several years later, his sons actually did threaten to exercise the clause if the city did not make good on his promise. Of course, we know that today you can still go to the park, and the city still maintains the park, and it is still pretty beautiful. It's still a great place to walk around. So, giving the city this land. The park was informally established in 1888 using the first part of the land. It was first donated to the city of Orlando by several families. His son decided to name it Lake Eola after a lady they both knew. So, side note, it was actually named after Eola J. Allen. That's the lady that it was named after. She was actually the niece of John Howard Allen, second mayor of Orlando. So she was apparently of note. But the area was officially declared the park in 1892, so a couple years after it was unofficially became a park. The park area has been home to a zoo, a horse racetrack, tennis courts, a pier with a dance area, and a broadcast site of a local radio station. So it's been more than just what we see it today. The fountain was officially established in 1912 at the cost of $10,000. A replacement, originally dubbed the Centennial Fountain, was installed in 1957 at the cost of over $350,000, and it was named the Linton E. Allen Memorial Fountain in 1966 to honor its biggest advocate. The actual iconic water feature is actually the official symbol of Orlando. So if you're ever driving around Orlando and you see on that sign that little blue thing that looks, you can't quite tell what it is, that's the fountain. So yeah, that's the fountain. Funny enough, in Orlando, I think Orlando and Tampa kind of go back and forth. I know that Tampa is actually the official lightning capital of Florida, but I think Orlando can vie for it a couple times a year, because in late August of 2009, lightning actually struck the fountain, rendering it inoperable. The city does have a $1 million insurance policy on the fountain with a $500,000 deductible. At that point, though, in 2009, the city was in a budget crisis and the fate of the fountain was unknown. On October 15, 2009, Mayor Buddy Dyer announced that the city would not only repair the fountain but replace the cracked plastic skin to install a state-of-the-art system of lights and water jets at the cost of $2.3 million. The fountain was fixed, rededicated, and resumed operation on July 4th, 2011. So it's kind of the fountain you see it today. In July 2013, the park did expand on the southeast side to include East Washington Street. The expansion added an extra 1.36 acres of lawn, new LED lighting, widened sidewalks, and nearly 4,000 square feet of paved patio, and additionally 7,500 square feet of paved brick space on East Washington Street, which you can actually still, it's kind of cool if you go to that area. It's a little bit up from the park, or from the main lake. It's kind of cool. There's a statue. It's another little great space. The house there. Oh, in September 2013, the city actually also opened the Eola House, which sits a little bit back from the lake. So if you walk in from Thornton Street, you actually pass the Eola House. It sits at 512 East Washington Street. It sits on an expanded part of the park, and it's like a welcome center. There's a gift shop, offices. It's also a space you can rent. So it's really cool. In 2013, 6 sculptures were installed by the nonprofit See Art Orlando, which is really cool. You can actually see these sculptures. Now, of course, they do have events at the park. Um, they kind of have off and on events like the Orlando Farmers Market has one every Sunday from 10 to 4, which is really cool. But then they have the events like Spin City Classic, which is in March, which is a sanctioned professional amateur bike racing on the streets that go around the park. Of course, fireworks over the fountain, which is July 4th. Fiesta in the park, which is the first full weekend in November, which has like over 600 booths of arts and crafts with entertainment and food. There's the Come Out with Pride in October, which is Pride Festival, which happens at the park. There's the Nutcracker Ballet in December, which is at the amphitheater every December. They might have canceled that one. I think the last time they held that was in 2020. I remember that. That was actually gorgeous when they would do that because that was so much fun. Because you could see that and then the fountain behind it. I hope they bring that back. And then, of course, they do something at the Walt Disney Amphitheater. You can actually see it on the Lake Eola billboard, which is at the northwest corner of the park. But it's really cool because, this was just a sinkhole that became a lake that is now an absolutely beautiful park. And, of course, there's many things that are surrounding the park. Like, there are some great coffee shops. There are some great restaurants that have kind of gone out of their way to be a great area around the park. There's even a Publix right past the park. One of the cool things, though, about the park is that there are paddle boats. You can rent swan-shaped paddle boats and paddle around this large lake. Of course, you can see the actual swans. They can be a tad bit mean. I have seen a swan attack someone. I think you got a little too close to their babies. But there are swans, ducks, geese. Geese are mean. Geese are actually very mean. But it's a great place to just go and relax. You can see the skyline. You can get there's some cool coffee shops. There's a Foxtail coffee shop. There's an I Love Orlando cafe, which has a really cool pink tree on its like little veranda and then you can overlook the lake. But there's some really gorgeous views from a couple of the restaurants that are like right outside, like right on the edge. Like World of Beer sits right at the edge of the lake, so you can have a beer and watch, or just people watch, people watching at the lake is really interesting. Trust me. Of course, like I said, you can actually have like a picnic at the lake, or you can even request a reservation. So, there are various things that you could do at the lake. I've seen people get married at the lake. Interesting, but you can do your thing. One thing that I will warn you about at the lake, though, and we actually ran into this the last time we were there, which was not too long ago. You need to be aware of people. Always be aware of your surroundings. We had a guy, he was really brave. We were just walking around. We were going to go to the amphitheater just to see what events were happening. And this guy didn't get maybe 2 feet behind us, and he just turned around and was right on us. And, not feeling some good vibes from this guy. So we quickly made our way into Publix. But he followed us all the way to Publix. It was not... You could tell he didn't have good intentions. So just always be aware of your surroundings if you are exploring that area. But there are some really, really cool sculptures over there. One of my favorites from that one is, and I never get it right, it's the lady. I call her the lady. I can never remember what her actual name is, but it's the woman that's like laying in the grass. You just kind of see her head, and she's laying it looks like the grass is taking her over. But you can see the monument in Right Foot Major. That one's in the southwest corner of Lake Eola. Take Flight is also in Lake Eola. That's another good one. But Lake Eola has really taken the time to really take what Summerlin wanted and make it a beautiful area for people to come and to gather and to get away from like the hustle and the bustle of Orlando. It's really saved a lot of the history in that it has, reserved the Eola House, which is actually a 1920s house. It's a beautiful house if you ever get to go inside of it. I don't know if they restored it or not. I can't find a lot of history on it, or it was just well preserved. It is an absolutely gorgeous house that you can rent for meetings, conferences, showers, or just walk in and go to the gift shop just to look in the house. It's absolutely gorgeous that they preserved this house. It's a cool part to look in like old Florida, and the fact that someone lived like 5 feet away from the lake is even amazing, because now all you see around it is like skyscrapers. So that's a really cool thing. I definitely recommend checking out Lake Eola, as it is directly in the heart of downtown Orlando. There is plenty of parking, garages nearby. There's probably, I think we passed like 4 to go to the one that I like to go to by the Publix. So if you're looking for something different to do in Orlando, or you just want some time away from a theme park, to be outside, to be near nature without going out to nature to stay in Orlando, definitely check out Lake Eola. Like I said, there is a ton of restaurants nearby. There is a bunch of coffee shops. Parking garages parking is no problem. But if you want to see nature without, having to travel out of Orlando and in that traffic, definitely check out Lake Eola. It's a great little magical place right in the heart of downtown Orlando. They've done a great job of keeping what Summerlin wanted, and you can see tons of waterfowl. You can see tons of other people. You're probably even going to see Florida man. Like I said, we encountered a Florida man trying to rob us, probably. He was, he was brave. Like, he was just right up on us. And it was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, why? Um, yeah, I don't know. Just be very careful when you're out there. That one got me. I was kind of like, seriously, guy, like, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, why? You didn't even try to go past us. Like, as soon as you went past us, you just turned around. Like we weren't gonna see you. Yeah, sorry. Um, so yeah. So today's Florida man comes to us. Good Lord. Comes to us from good old Pinellas County, which is Clearwater. And yep. Wow, this Florida man went all out. This Florida man was arrested because he was well, gosh, this Florida man really, yeah. So this Florida man called 911 because he was having breathing issues. So he called 911 because he was experiencing breathing issues. Once EMT crews arrived, he began removing his clothes and began to masturbate with an ice pack in the presence of first responders. Yep. I don't think that he really had breathing issues. Yeah. I think he just needed I think he just wanted an audience. So don't do drugs, y'all. Fun fact though, apparently the same guy just was released from jail after serving a 1-year sentence on felony drug charges for selling crack cocaine to an undercover cop. Yeah. Yeah. Something tells me that he was definitely not sober during this incident. Yeah. So, drugs are a thing, you guys. Let's stay away from them. Yeah. So just be careful while you're out there, and exploring Lake Eola. Might run into that guy. Might run into the guy I ran into. Who knows? Hope you guys enjoyed learning about Lake Eola. So the next time you're in Orlando and you're looking for something to do that doesn't involve Disney, Universal, or very expensive, massive, skyrocketing prices, go check out Lake Eola. Parking was, I think, $4 an hour at the parking garage we use, and, have fun exploring. I've been out there by myself, and I didn't feel unsafe. This is really the first time I had anything happen, so, just have fun. Take pictures of birds, take pictures of squirrels. If you saw the Instagram, you saw the squirrel with the swan photobombing it, so, who knows what you're going to catch. Just avoid the Florida men. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope that you guys have a warm week. It keeps going up and down. Nature doesn't know what it wants to do. Drink your water, guys. Wear your sunscreen. And as always, guys, that's your daily dose of sunshine.
This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.